Hari Om. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's pray together. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya sahana vavatu sahano bhunakto sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvina vadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord, the Almighty, who has the divine name of Vyaptaha, to such a magnificent together with Shraddha, Bhakti, Bhakti, we offer our humble salutation. To seek His grace, His mercy, His love, His compassion, His strength, His forgiveness. O Lord, the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, Mumukshutva, we beseech in you to enhance these qualities in us, only and only to have the Aparokshanubhuti, the experience of Thyself in our hearts. We once again beseech that at the end of our life, we reach Thy holy feet. Salutation to the Guru Parampara. Oh, today, by the grace of Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 378 on the 7th of May 2024. स्वस्ति श्री क्रोधिनाम संवत्सर उत्तरायण वसंत ऋतु चैत्र मास भौमवासरे अश्विनी नक्षत्रे आयुष्मान योगे चतुष्पद करणे. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious, we all take a solemn oath with the blessings of the divine that, O Lord, whatever comes to me in my life as a situation, as a circumstance, as an incident, as an happening, be it through a person, place, or an object, I consider that all this is nothing but thy play. All this has been orchestrated in such a way that this jiva is uplifted from the ocean of births. Every incident, situation will give this jiva the right amount of bhakti, the right quantum of vairagya, and the right intensity of prapatti. I completely accept with prasada buddhi, without questioning a wee bit, without doubting to the slightest manner. Wholehearted welcome and live a life peacefully and with content. Ever in your thoughts and at your humble salutations to the Guru Parampara once again. Om. Good evening to all of you once again. So, now if you see, Lord Krishna did not give an opportunity to Arjuna to ask a question. The 6th chapter, it goes in one flow. In the 6th chapter, in the 5th chapter, Arjuna had asked, which is better, Karma Yoga or Sannyasa Yoga? So there, Karma Yoga is good. So now he knows that Arjuna will say, what you mean to say, I keep doing Karma Yoga my entire life? When will I rise? So anticipating this question, he continues with flow of thought. See, we should understand all these shlokas are cryptic and mystic in nature. So the beautiful commentaries which have come out of, the straight meaning may be something else, but the commentaries which have come out by the great sages, now that has to be properly understood, dissected, and digested. So without which you will get confused, you will not make much sense. What are they trying to tell? Every now and then we are seeing there is a change in the methodology. No. The reason is we are seeing in bits and pieces now. Now, once you get the entire stretch, like for example, you are watching the movie for a first time. You'll sometimes, you're looking left and right. What is this happening? We're not able to understand it. As you are looking to your left and right, others are also looking to their left and right, because the plot is created in that way. But as, let's say, you get a chance to see it for the second time, then what happens is you are going steadily with the flow. You know now what is happening. In the same way, when we're listening for the first time, I'm talking of the entire stretch. Not so, maybe to some extent, when you listen to a chapter wise. So these kind of aberrations will be there. But I know where the aberrations can be. So keeping that in mind, I have minimized all those to a large extent. Whenever I'm telling you all something, I consider to be in your my shoes in your my feet in your shoes, and then I say this is the way I have to present to you all. Now, so moving forward, what did we understand in the second verse? If work is done, okay, let's go to the fundamental aspect where Lord Krishna says a sannyasi who has given up action, he is equal to the one who is a grahastha, who is in action, meaning who is doing action, but he is not interested in the fruits of the action. Okay, he's constantly doing action, but he has surrendered all the action, all his activities to the feet of the Lord, saying, I'm doing it for your sake. With a bhava, devotion. So this is the state of a grahastha. So now the Lord Krishna says both are one and the same. I can't see anybody higher than the other. This grahastha who has renounced the fruits of the action is equal to a sannyasi. Okay. Now, what is the striking aspect over here? The last aspect, which is the fruit of action. Sannyasi has given up the work itself. He is not interested in any activity because he is not interested in the fruit of any action. But here a grahastha, being interested in activity, he has given up the fruit of action. So the important common factor here is the fruit of action, which is important. Let's study more about this. I'll tell you, this can come as a great gift to our children and moving forward to our grandchildren. The reason is, now with artificial intelligence coming in, these are the real gems which we can teach our children. The rest is all going to be like, they could be eventually chips which are inserted within you and you will get answers. You don't even have to type anything to get any kind of an answer. So how one can live a contented life, a fulfilled life, a life without any health hazards, so let's try to get more of it. So to make a humble beginning, if work is done with the sankalpa, a desire to have something, it becomes karma bhoga. Whereas without the sankalpa, not having any desire in mind, that becomes karma yoga. So here, whenever Lord Krishna says, henceforth, wherever you listen to a word yogi, understand he is not a sannyasi. I am referring to that yogi as a grahastha who is doing karma. So with sankalpa in mind, if you do any action, it is going to be a bhoga and not a karma yoga. So what does the karma yogi do now? And what does the sannyasi do? Let's go step by step. Sannyasi gives up the sankalpa. And he gives up all activity born out of sankalpa. Now, what is sankalp here? A desire. And then after you get a desire, sankalp is a thought. Then comes from that thought comes a desire. Then from that desire comes action. So which is sankalpa kama karma. So first there is a thought in the mind, sankalp. Then there is a kama or a desire which arises in the mind, and in accordance to satisfy that desire, there is an action. That activity to fulfill it. Now what the sannyasi has done is, he says, I don't want. I have given up the whole thing. No sankalpa, no desire, no action. Now the karma yogi, he gives up the most essential thing, that is the sankalpa, which is the thought. The moment the thought enters in the mind, he knows that now after this thought there is going to be a desire. He gives up both of them and he continues with it. See, this is important. He knows I have to do what action? Whatever action that has to be done in life as long as the person is in the midst of society. You know, there are people around us. There are responsibilities we have to perform. We have to discharge our duties. Now, all this what a grahastha does is, with the devotion in his heart. He may be serving some guests. He may be serving his own, her own family, spouse, in-laws, parents, children. So now what this person does is, the person does not look at any thought arising and then a desire and then the fruit of the desire. No. With that complete dedication, this person is now engrossed in the thought that I'm doing for the love of God. And wherever it be, it may be a job at home or at office or anywhere else, that continuous worship of that Bhagavan is constantly churning in the mind of sadhak. So here, this is a wonderful way of living. So Sri Krishna says, Karma Yogi and the sannyas are the one who have given up all the activities, but the one who continues the activities, they are at the same level. At the root level, what? Both have given up the desire from the act. So here it is said, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kama. So Sankalpa is the root and it gives birth to desires. Kama means desires. So the root along with the desires, both have to be given up, which is done by the Karma Yoga and the Sannyasi. In fact, Shankaracharya explains this beautifully. He says, Anartha Parampara. What is that? What is Anartha Parampara? Sankalpa, Kama, Karma, Karmaphala, Samsara. This is the Anartha Parampara. You are going in cycle. A thought, Sankalpa comes in mind. Desire, it becomes a desire. Then a karma is performed. According to the karma, there is karma phala. Karma phala can be papa or punya depending on the karma you have done. And according to the papa and punya, you get another life. If you have done good, lot of good deeds, then if the proportion is more, then you will go to the higher worlds. Till that little time, whatever extra is there, you enjoy that in the higher worlds, and then again you are thrown back into the lower worlds. So you are in that constant samsara. So this anartha parampara, kama jana te moolam. So a sadhak says, I know where is the root of all this samsara. You desire, you come from that. I have found my root, and at the root level, nip in the bud. So the sankalpa at the root level itself, it's tweaked there. Na sankalpa yeshami. I will not generate any more sankalpas in my mind. And having done this, now what this person, he says, both are renouncers, a karma yogi and a sannyasi. So now what is the reason for all this? Why one needs to do things in such a way? So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he makes it very clear that those who have given up sankalpa in their life, they are good meditators. This is the key point which we have to understand, because what happens, the thought of the results is the cause of the disturbance in the mind. Understand this. If we have to change our track, now we have learned something phenomenal. Keep continuing the day way you are doing. One particular activity, work without aspiring for any result. And you will see that that particular activity gives you so much of peace, even though there are disturbances. Have that bhava that I am doing this for the dedication of the Lord. Okay, like you're making some prasad for the Lord, let's say. So you were doing that activity. Now in that entire process, without expecting any return, even the slightest return what you are expecting, they didn't even say it was so nice. I put so much of ghee, I put so much of effort, and I've given it to them on time. Nobody even spoke about it. The basic expectation is always there. There was once a Swami, this was in the Belur Mutt. Now, quite an old Swami. Now, he said he had a lot of sadhaks who used to come and take his blessings. So one sadhak bought him a hand stick. Now he knew that he's old and he needs a hand stick. Let me gift him one. Takes that and he offers it to the. So that Swamiji says, I already have one. I don't want. Now sadhak says, I have, with so much of love, I have bought this. I bought it from so and so place, and this has got this. It's the wood and the carving, and he explains so many things about it, trying to say that this is something very unique. You please keep it. But the Swami was not keen to take it. So then the sadhak asked him, Swamiji, why are you so stubborn about accepting this gift? He says, you know what happens? I don't want, you are a sadhak. I don't want to spoil your sadhana. Sadhak got a little stunned. He says, how? See, when I take this, what happens is you will get a thought in your mind that I must reciprocate. Could be by saying that, oh, this is so nice. So then that person was, he was nodding his head, the sadhak. No, Swamiji, I don't have any expectation from you. Please, I just want you to accept it. Now, what this Swamiji said was, you don't have any expectation. Then in front of you, I'm going to break it into two. Immediately that person, he got a little annoyed. He says, see, there it is. When I said I'm going to break this stick, you got annoyed. Why? That little expectation you have that I must use it in the appropriate. So these are the things. What happens is when any action we have done, somewhere at the root there is some kind of an expectation. So whenever we are practicing selfless service, you should make it a point to see that your expectation levels goes down to zero. Initially, it may be at a much higher level, but gradually you just keep taking it down, taking it down. Don't bother what is the reaction or the um, response the other side gives you. Don't look at it all. Don't look at it to the slightest extent. So then what happens is your mind is completely disturbance in the mind not only causes health issues but also keeps you disturbed all the time. Now we are disturbed because we have 10 issues going on, and with every issue you have an expectation. So as I told you, only if we had known this long back, our life would have been so in this way. Now the root cause of all these actions, sankalpa, which the karma yogi and the sannyasi both have given up. Only difference is karma yogi continues to work doing action, and a sannyasi has given up. This is explained. Now let's see what Lord Krishna tells us in the next verse. Verse number 3. Shri Bhagawanuvacha Arurukshourmuneryogam Karma Karanamuchyate Yogarudhasya tasyaiva Shama Karanamuchyate. So, two categories, Aruruksho and Yogarudha. What is common with Aruruksho? Karma. And what is the feature of a Yogarudha? Shamaha. So now who is an Aruruksho? Who is a Yogarudha? What is the why only karma is attached to this Aruruksho, and what is the meaning of this Shama, and why is this the activity of a Yogarudha? Now this is what is going to be explained in this particular shloka. Here we are basically talking about all the sadhaks who want to realize God. Okay. Now there are some who are in the elementary stage. So Lord Krishna is talking from that, and he's not talking about the ones who are not interested in this path. He's basically talking about the higher level. Okay. So with that little background, what we have, once what happens is, as a sadhak, once you start progressing in life, your focus is on that God and God alone. Slowly you will see even your children, your friends, they may come up and say, Mom is of no fun anymore. This is quite a common thing which happens. Now, this is because somewhere deep inside you are thinking of your sadhana. And this is quite possible to happen. So now one of the very senior Swamijis of the Ramakrishna Math, Ashokanandaji, used to say, he says, whenever my sadhaks used to come and say, this is what my children are telling me, my friends are telling me, you were so much fun earlier, nowadays don't see that fun in you. He used to say, good riddance. Good riddance. They themselves will move away from you. And in fact, another interesting aspect what I got to know was, one very creative person of the Indian advertisement industry. Now, he somehow got interest in Advaita Vedanta. And being a a top notch in the advertisement industry, he got to meet Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is one of the world's highly appreciated philosophical speaker today, who had written the book Power of Now. So he goes to Eckhart Tolle and he tells him that I'm interested in spirituality. So Eckhart Tolle, he gives him various tools to do his study and things. Then after 2 years, this gentleman, he comes back to Eckhart Tolle and you know what is happening nowadays? Advertisement needs creativity. And somehow I'm not interested in any new advertisements anymore, nor campaigning. I'm losing interest in all this area. Told him immediately, thank God, it is a sign of progress. But it should be combined with interest in spiritual life. Not that you are not interested in spiritual life also. He says, no. I am very much interested in spiritual life. But I see that in my career and profession, my interest is going down. Now, the reason here is the person who takes up this seriously, he will keep everything aside. His main goal would be to go to the depth of this particular. So in this way, now when there are various gradations of people as we see over here. Now all of them, what happens is, now he compares these two, Aruruksho and Yogaruda. Now if you have a ladder, various rungs are there right from the beginning, the first rung till the top. So he compares this Aruruksho as the ones who are at the lower rung, who have just started their journey. And there he talks about karma karana muchyate. For them, karma becomes extremely essential. So in this way he takes up. And for the yoga rudasya, a sannyasi who has given up all action and whose main focus is God and God alone, he says, Shamaha Karana Muchyate. For them to gain liberation, Shama. Shama here means meditation. Now see, we should not forget, Lord Krishna is talking about this entire chapter as on meditation. So he will slowly take us. Chapter number 3 was Karma Yoga. Then slowly he moves to Bhakti. In Karma, Bhakti combines in 4th and 5th chapters. And now he is coming to Dhyana. Because without Dhyana, these are all preparations. All along there is Jnana which is given. But slowly he is ensuring that one needs to have the right amount of preparation for every step. So Arurukshor Muner Yogam. For this sage who desires to attain to yoga, action is said to be the means, and for him alone, when he has attained to yoga, then inaction is said to be the initially action is required. So the structure of the spiritual practices, if you see what, Karma Yoga is important. Then comes meditation, bhakti, and ultimately jnana. One gets moksha by jnana and jnana alone, which is that knowledge. I'll just tell you what is this 3-cross matrix. Now what is this 3-cross matrix? We listen to these statements, Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means what? I am that Brahman. What Brahman? The entire creator, operator of this entire universe. What? This is what our Vedas are telling, our Upanishads are telling. Yes. Arey, I don't have money to pay my credit card bill over here and you are talking, I am Brahman. Now, this person says, I don't understand. Now, here what happens is, I don't understand and I keep suffering. This is one very common. Now, the Vedanta says suffering should end. Once you know your true self, suffering has to come to an end. But the person who is listening to you says, no way, I'm not able to understand. My suffering is still the same. So, here, what it means is, you need a, a clean mind, chitta shuddhi, and you also need an ekagrata, chitta ekagrata. These two become the priorities. Now, how do I get these two? Then comes Lord Krishna says, go one step backward and practice karma yoga. So once you practice karma yoga, what happens? You get chitta shuddhi, cleansing of the mind. How is that karma yoga? Dedicating your activities to the Lord. We are doing, say, 10 activities. One activity you focus and do it. You will see the amount of joy you will get by that one particular activity. And then you will get a flair to do, okay, I'll add one more today. Consciously do it and see for yourself. Then you will go on adding everything, and then eventually you will say, I don't want to keep any activity to myself. Everything I want to dedicate. So when you do this kind of a selfless service, when you do nama japa, when you do vrata, when you do bhakti, then chitta shuddhi is gained. And then you move on to more and more japa and dhyana. There you get chitta ekagrata. So then the first level of impurity of the mind is the problem that we don't have a pure mind. And for that comes what we need to start with karma yoga. And then from karma yoga, you need to go to Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. And eventually, with that concentrated and clean mind, you will be able to get Dhyana Yoga. You will be able to understand. As Lord Krishna was saying, has said in the 7th chapter, he says, Chaturvida bhajante mam. Janaha sukritorjuna. Arto jignasu artharti jnani cha bharatarshava. So he says, O Bharata, 4 kinds of bhaktas or people do devotion towards me. One is the distressed. They want something, they are in deep trouble, health problem or relationship problem, or they have financial problem. So in this way, these people, they come to me. They are my bhaktas. They are distressed. The second is, there are people who have good things in life, but they want more. And the third is, they feel, think I have had enough of all this. I need to know God. Now, that third category is exactly what we are talking over here. Where we are talking Aru Ruksho. They are at the lower rung. They have just started climbing. The third category. I want to know what is God. I want to know what my true self is. I want to be a true bhakta of the divine. And I want to thereby remove all the miseries of my life. Now, if you make a survey and you ask anybody, it could be a drug addict, what do you want? Happiness. It could be a Hollywood or a Bollywood actor, what do you want? Happiness. It could be a plumber, what do you want in life? Happiness. It could be a teacher. It could be a student. It could be a businessman. Anybody, even it could be a yogi or a sadhak. Everybody want happiness in life. Who does not want happiness? But you ask anybody, do you want suffering? Everybody will say no, not even, I will not allow it to come near me. So when our intention is towards happiness, but what is happening is we are looking for it in the wrong place. Now, if I have left my keys in my bag And if I search in my wardrobe, will I get it? In the same way. So now here, when this seeker, he knows, if I am, the Upanishads tell me very clearly that Atyantika Dukkha Nivrutti, my sorrows will be completely removed, and Paramananda Prapti, I will attain that. Paramananda is that bliss of the divine. So he says, why should I go into the world to chase after all these nonsense things, which I have been doing and I'm not getting any happiness out of this? So here, that person, that soul, it says, let me try something else. It makes that shift in life. See, this is important. At some point, by some satsang, you get that thought. I'll tell you about this happiness. Lord Indra, who is the Lord of the Swargaloka. Now, if you have 5-star hotels, there are various categories in the 5-star hotels, and in the 5-star hotel also you have got various category of rooms. The highest category of the 5-star and the highest suite, what we call the Maharaja suite or the Emperor suite, whatever it is. Now, for an Indra who has a loka for himself, with the, you can't imagine the best of best things, whatever he wants. Okay, as far as the possessions are concerned. Now, as far as let's say another important aspect, what a human would ask is for he wants a partner. Now, for his sensual pleasures, he has all the apsaras, the best of the apsaras in the entire creation, who are at his feet. Now, such an Indra who has got everything and the best among the apsaras, now he desires Gautam Rishi's wife Ahalya. He desires to go into union with her. Now what he does, he knows that she is a very pious lady. He cannot, whatever way he cannot take her in his stride. So he disguises himself as Gautama Rishi and he goes and gets into union with her. Now tell me, by this can't we understand what is this desire? You getting the best of the best, you will never be satisfied. If you go on satisfying desires, it will only increase the intensity, but it is going to take you down the drain. This is what lesson we should understand from what desire can do for us. So now this sadhak, he has understood in the same way that I have tried everything in this world, nothing gives me that peace and contentment. So I am going to go toward on the spiritual path. Let me understand true being. So here, this is the third category. And the fourth one is the one who are jnani, who are already established in this knowledge. So now what happens is, okay, now I want to understand that Brahman, because I've made my journey on this path. But ignorance, which is primordial, and to remove that ignorance, I have to start with Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana, where I'm not getting that right concentration and I'm not able to move forward. So here, so the three cross matrix: problem, ignorance. Okay. First one, what is the problem? We are born with ignorance. What is the solution to the ignorance? Knowledge is the solution. This is number 2. And what is the method? Dhyana Yoga is this is the first 3 matrix. We have ignorance, And to remove that ignorance, we have knowledge. And to gain that knowledge, we need Dhyana Yoga. Understand this carefully. So problem, solution, and method. These are the three metrics. Now, next one. Yes, I have a problem. To understand Jnana Yoga, I have a restless mind. That is my problem. Solution, concentrated mind is the solution to a restless mind. How do you get this? By Dhyana Yoga. Restless mind, concentrated mind, and can be achieved by Dhyana Yoga. Now, why is my mind so restless? What is the problem here? Impure mind. That's why it is restless. And what is the solution? Pure mind. And how do I make my mind pure? Karma Yoga. So start from the bottom. First make your mind pure by Karma Yoga. Then with a pure mind, you make your mind concentrated by Dhyana Yoga. Then finally, with a concentrated and a pure mind, gain knowledge through Jnana Yoga and remove ignorance. This is what we need to understand. You got this? So these are the steps. Of course, in Ashtanga Yoga also you have various steps, yama, niyama. Like in yama it is ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. Then in niyama it is shaucha, santosha, tapaha, swadhyaya, and ishvara pranidhana. All these mean the same thing, but they are told in different ways. So in this way, now this particular sadhak, he moves on to understand the value of spiritual growth. Aruhu ichatha arukshaha. It basically depicts what is the concept here. One who desires to acquire, or one who has the desire to climb. Aruruksho. Arodham icchataha arurukshaha. He is the one. Aruruksha, meaning who wants to climb. So who? This yogi. What he wants to do now? Swaswarupa anusandhana prapti. He wants to find out his own true nature. What is his Nija Atmasthiti, what we call, Unless and until I understand my true nature, they say there is no bliss. So he's on that journey now. So one who wants to achieve this and who is in this kind of a pursuit, now such a person becomes a karma yogi. Whatever state of life is, he becomes a. But in the case of this karmi, not a karma yogi, it's an altogether a different attitude where he is only focused about the fruit. What will I get out of this? Mujhe kya milega? That kind of thing. So even before he starts, he will be thinking, what will I get out of this? So in which he is putting his efforts. Without that, he is not putting his efforts. So once he gets it, he is satisfied, or he is maybe dissatisfied. We didn't get to the right level. And again, he does karma. So he has expectations on the results, and on getting the result, then again start. But for a karma yogi, his focus is not on the result, the phalam what we call, but his focus is on the swaswarupa anusandhana. See, we all have to do activity, and we will do activity because Prakriti will make you do activity. In what way? No, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to sit where I am. It will not happen. At one point, you will fall asleep. And after some time, you will get up. And then you will have to maybe go to the toilet at certain intervals. You will feel hungry. You will have to go and eat something. So, whatever way you say, I'm not going to do anything, it's not going to happen. Do everything with that devotion and dedication in mind. So, Sacha Yogi, Aruruksho Mune Yogam Karma Karana Muchyate. So, the hidden concept here is for such a yogi, a karma yogi whom we call, that Swaswarupa Anusandhana, that becomes the true path for him to reach his destiny. So the students, he asks, what is this, Swamiji? How can karma be the means to self-realization? Is it not self-knowledge? A very good question, actually speaking. So, because we all know that up to one point you understand, karma is not going to give me self-realization. I need knowledge. There are so many people who only keep doing karma, but how will they understand the true self? So then the Shastra says, na karmana na prajaya dhanena na tyage amrutattvamanashu. So here the emphasis on the idea of that renunciation. This is one of the shlokas when any Mahatma or a sage is entering your home. This is the shloka which is recited. What it says, na karmana, by karma, nor by wealth, nor by progeny, prajaya dhanena, one can lead to immortality, amrutattva manishu. It is only tyage naika. The anashu here means renunciation. Do all activities with selfless. So he says, karma, how it can take you to moksha is by doing this activities with renunciation, with no desire for the fruits of this action. This becomes a yajna and it leads to the antakarana shuddhi. Antakarana is now equipped to get jnana. To reach that state of swaswarupa anusandhanam, I have seen it myself. Some people who are not at all near to the spiritual studies, but are into a lot of sadhana like bhakti, bhajan, japa, stotra. Now what happens is to such people, they are like that chitta shuddhi and chitta ekagrata is very high in them. So the moment they get the slight inkling of this knowledge, they are able to take it so well that you will be surprised. How this person is getting so much knowledge in such a short time. They are in that pure state to receive. A fertile soil. Now you throw a seed in it. Seed will sprout, grow into a big, huge tree. So what is this Chitta Shuddhi here doing? Like say, you are at home. Now you don't want to take these milk in plastic bags or containers. So you have ordered a milkman to come and deliver milk at your house daily. A reliable person, you know him. So he has some cows and he promises you that he'll be getting that pure milk from his cows. Monday morning, he rings the bell and nobody is getting up in the house. Now you are able to listen to the bell very clearly and you are disturbed to the core, and what you said, okay, let me go and collect the milk today. Now rubbing your eyes, you enter the kitchen and you see that you're not getting a vessel anywhere to collect the milk. Then where does your eyes go now? It goes to the sink. Now there you see in the sink that there are some very dirty vessels and some are okay type of vessel. Now, are you going to pick up any kind of a vessel and go and pick? No. Why? Because the moment milk is poured in a vessel which is dirty, the milk will get spoiled. So in the same way, your mind is like that vessel. Unless and until it is clean, you will not be able to receive this knowledge. So in this way, as one needs a clean vessel to sustain that milk, in the same way, more your mind is clean, the more will be your sustenance, this dhyana. And then it will go to the higher levels. Because there are so many you have seen, they say, we don't understand anything what you're talking. Or they'll say, no, 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 I can't understand. Maybe some other time I'll get back to this. So this antakarana, how to cleanse it? By doing karma without desires. Nirashihi. This is how. Karma, by preparing one's mind to such a state that it holds this knowledge so well, and it finally takes the seeker to the state of reality. Yoga rudasya tasyaiva. Such a person he performs karma with that Ishvara arpana buddhi, not in the jiva bhava. So what happens to the results of his karma? It helps in that chitta. Like for example, one does worship in the right manner prescribed, but I have no desire for the fruit of karma. Here the Lord says, the niyati of karma is to give fruit. It is its niyati, its duty to give karma, the fruit for every karma. So it gives us a fruit. If you don't accept also, it gives you chitta shuddhi, that antakarana shuddhi. Even you don't ask. So for such a karma yogi, what will happen is, here, now, shama karana muchyate. What is shama here? Upashama. Sarva karma vyaha nivrittihi shamaha. Means such a yogi who has become a sannyasi now. Although he has not worn a clothes of a sannyasi, he is wearing common civilian clothes. Now he has become a sannyasi. He has dissolved the I and is established in his Swaswarupa. A clear description of a Brahmana done in the Mahabharata is Naitadrishyam brahmashyati vittam na etadrishyam vittam brahmasya asti. Meaning a Brahmana is one who wears a yagnopavita, he has a shika also, and he is reciting the Vedopanishad or mantras. All these are the ceremonial qualities of a Brahmana. But the deeper meaning of a Brahmana, he says, is Brahma Tattva Anusandhana, Brahma Janat Brahmanaha. One who has understood what is the true nature of that Brahman, and who is established in that thought always, who is longing to be in that thought. He is a true. So even you take the example of Vedavyasji. By birth, Vedavyasa is not a Brahmana. But today what? He is considered as the Jagat Guru. Vyasos Chittam Jagat Sarvam. Highest and of the highest Guru in terms of the Veda Upanishad. So caste is given by father and mother, but Guna, the character, comes by one's own Purushartha. The best example, Vedavyasa. So this caste goes along with the death of a, but his character still remains in the Sukshma. So the Brahmana means Naitadrishyam. He does not have, maybe he may not have any money, but he has one thing. What is that? His sadhana. What is his sadhana? Yate kata samatha satyata cha. Ekata samata satyata cha means Atma Bhavana. Whatever one sees, Atmavan Sarvabhu. He sees his true nature in. This is what our goal has to be. We have to slowly start imbibing. Don't look at your people whom you don't like. If you start your practice there, you will fall terribly. Look at your dear ones. You will be easily be able to connect, see yourself in them. Because sometimes, many a times what you see is anything painful to them pains you. Anything which is of happiness to them brings you happiness. That is because of the proximity you have created. Then go to the neutral people, unknown people. Look at the common factors, like their whole system as a jiva is functioning. The same principle is functioning in you also. Then at one point, you will be able to automatically see that tattva in the people whom, because mind plays that dirty trick. So samata means your samatvam. So sama in Bhagavad Gita means Brahma Paramatma. Nirdosham hi samam Brahma. Samatvam is Paramatma Bhavana. Ekata means Atma Bhavana. So this Satyam, knowing that Jagat is Mithya, that is the Satya what this sadhak knows. Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvamityeti. Atma alone is Satya, rest all is Mithya. So in this way, this particular sadhak, he moves on and he practices ahimsa, abhayam, and goes on in life. He feels that without these qualities, I will not be able to be associated with. That's Swaswarupa Anusandhana. Bhartruhari gives a beautiful narration of abhayam, fear in this world. He says, Vairagyameva bhayam. Vairagya? Vairagya means don't think giving up whatever you have. No. The true meaning of Vairagya is you should be in a position to give up you don't need. What you don't need in the true sense means all that excess what you have got. That is all what you don't need. But we have considered ourselves that I need all this. So what you don't need, if you are able to give up that in the true sense, that is the biggest Vairagya. When Janaka Maharaja, he was studying under his teacher, Ashtavakram. That Maharshi, after he came to know that Janaka Maharaja got liberated, meaning he got realized. He was a self-realized person. So he tells Janaka Maharaja, Abhayosmi, you have overcome fear. So this Vairagya, Abhayam means overcoming fear. These are the two states of realization. He didn't say anything else. He didn't say you are liberated. He says you have crossed over fear in life. So these key aspects, Satyam means truthfulness, Vairagya, Abhayam, these are what take you closer and closer to divinity. So here, to summarize this shloka, he talks about the one who he has begun his journey. He says you keep doing karma. As a result of karma, you not expecting anything because you have already relinquished the result of the action. But the niyati of the karma is to give you a chitta shuddhi. And once you get chitta shuddhi, as a person, yoga rudasya kshamak karanam uchyate. The yoga ruda in dhyana combined with the jnana, as he attains liberation, you can go to the next level of being a yoga rudha. But start your journey from the aruruksho. Aruruksho is where you have that desire to climb the ladder of divinity or the ladder of self-realization. Now, okay, a sadhak has been doing this. At one point, a doubt comes, how much I have progressed? Is there any progress? I need to evaluate myself. Like, we have put our kids in the school, and then it's just about a month or so, then we go and ask the teacher, because we are paying heavy fees. We ask the teacher, is my child progressing? That's a common tendency of human mind. So Lord Krishna understands this. He says, you as a sadhak also, you want to see progress. Although you don't have desire in the um, actions you perform, but on that sadhana you want to understand. Somewhere there is some slight inquisitiveness about the progress. So Lord Krishna answers this. Now let's verse number 4. Shri Bhagavan Yada hinendriyarteshu न कर्मस्वनुषज्जते सर्वसंकल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदोच्यते. Here, so now Lord Krishna clarifies. A sadhak needs to have three qualities. Now they are explained in this verse 4. Yada hi nendriyarteshu na karma swanusajjat. To know how one is elevated or progressing on the path of yoga. So, yoga rudaha tada uchyate. So, when a person, a sadhak, when is he called as a yoga rudha? When these three qualities are seen in him. Now, what are they? Yadahi na indriyarteshu na anusajja. Not that he doesn't have any senses, indriyas. Indriyarteshu na anusajjate. What is there means? He has got no attachment to the objects of the senses and the senses, of course. Now there is something which is nice. Desert has come in front of you. What happens? Your sense, your eyes sees the desert, and then you get some nice fragrance also. Now what? All the senses are attracted. Immediately tells the mind that I must eat this because somebody is offering you. Then the organs of action, the mind tells the hand, pick it up and put it in your mouth. Job done. Not that this person doesn't have hands, nor that this person is blind, nor this person has lost the sense of smell. No. He has everything. He is seeing everything. But he has that. Tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sanga samacharaha. He has that complete control. He says, why should I eat this nonsense? Yes, it's going to give me a good kick for some time. My dopamine will be released because there is a huge amount of sugar which gets into my bloodstream, and that is going to release dopamine, and dopamine is happy hormone. I'll be happy for that time. That's why you say, you have seen the old tradition is whenever they want to announce that happiness, they put a sweet in your mouth. Because that happiness, to experience it internally, that dopamine kick has to come. And for that dopamine kick to come into your body, you need that sugar spike. So you have to take sugar immediately, meaning in good quantum in your bloodstream, and then you get that spike and dopamine increases and you are happy. So Actually, we don't know whether that news is giving real happiness or not, but this definitely the mithai or that sweet is giving everybody. Okay. So this person has controlled. He has got no attachment to the object, and he tells the senses, be under guard. You're not supposed to look at that or even desire for it. So, like when Swamiji was telling us, when he was traveling in a train, he used to say that, people many times they ask, Swamiji, your life is completely different. Don't you feel thirsty? Don't you feel hungry? Don't you sleep? The Swamiji was telling me these kind of basic questions, disturbing questions these are. Now Arjuna gets the same kind of a question. He asks, Sthita Pragna ka bhasha? What is the definition of a Sthita Pragna? Kim prabhashet? Kim asit? Kim brajet? Meaning, how does he walk? How does he talk? How does he eat? Is there any specific way he talks or walks, or he? Can you tell us? So these are the misconceptions what we have. Now, like as it is told in Bhajagovindam, Agre Vanni Shashte Bhanu Ratro Chubaka Samarpita Janu. So here meaning one who has grown a long beard, a yogi, has knots in his hair. He looks like a perfect yogi. Now he stays in silence. He's wearing orange clothes. Now tell me what more you need to tell him he's a yogi. And he doesn't eat also. He doesn't drink. Now this such a person might have fasted and done sadhana. All good. But not eating is not a luxury. It's not a quality of a yogi. Not sleeping is not a quality of a yogi. You may also not say, I don't have water also. I don't take salt. I don't take sugar. Not doing all these are not qualities of a yogi. Sahajam karma kaunteya, Lord Krishna says, a yogi will do all the natural activities. He'll feel thirsty. He'll feel hungry. He'll feel sleepy. He will keep doing all the natural activities, but he will not be drawn by the senses and the objects of the sense. Whenever he feels hungry, he will eat the right thing. He feels thirsty, he'll find water and drink. He needs to talk, he will talk appropriately. He needs to go somewhere, he will go. He feels tired, he will definitely sleep. All these are normal activities. Don't relate this to a they are of a common man, and this yogi in the true sense will also be behaving in the same way as a common man. Only distinguishing point will be his mindset. Yogi is who? Yoga niyojita chittaha. That is the distinguishing point of a yogi. What is that? The words like me and mine, both are eradicated. He only has Ishvara, nothing done by him is saying that it belongs to me. Anything he does is all done, dedicated to Ishvara. Once the Lord takes that place in yourself as that me inside, then one's personality, beyond one's imagination. The thought of that Paramatma has to be established in the mind. That you have to do it. We have done so many things. A newly born child. Now that child becomes to you so dear. Who has created that proximity? Your mind. Hey, this is my child. This is my grandchild. This is my spouse. Whatever it is, you have created. This is my friend. So the thought is created in one's mind. you establish that relationship with that divine power within, then what happens is whatever you hear, whatever you see, whatever you experience, whatever comes that issue, because you have it in your mind. The external factors don't matter to you at all. Like if a foreigner sees a statue of, let's say, goddess, beautiful statue of Annapurneshwari, let us say, he will say, what a beautiful sculpted statue of an Indian traditional woman, he'll say. For him, it looks like an Indian traditional woman. That is what he will express. But if a devotee sees that statue, immediately he will do Dandavat Pranam. What a divine Devi sitting in front of me. He doesn't see it as a statue. He sees it at that place. Now, because that has been established in his Antarbahishcha tat sarvam yapya naraya stita. Antar, inside, bahishcha, outside, tat sarvam, everywhere. Vyapya. Vyapya is one who is prevailing, present. Narayana stitaha. Now Lord Narayana is pervading this entire, inside, outside, and everywhere. How do you get this? Yad bhavam tad bhavati. That change, what you want to have, you want to see in your mind, it is in your hands. Now with that kind of a change, this sadhak has crossed over. Anusangam here means kartavyata buddhim na karoti ityartaha. There is no place for me and mine in his life. He has become one with that Param. Whenever he says I, me, mine, within, he feels the presence of God. Again, it is yad bhavam tad bhavati. Once Lord Shiva wanted to test his devotee. His name was Shankar. He goes to him and he says, who is the biggest devotee? Shankar says, what biggest? I am the only devotee. There is no other devotee in this world. Shiva, he was in disguise. He says, what are you talking, man? I see so many devotees here. He says, there is only one devotee, and that is me. Not able to. No, I see Shiva in everybody. So there are only Shivas over here, and I am the one. Shivamayam Jagat. State of mind. He says, I see Shiva in everybody, meaning I am the only devotee left. Rest are all Shiva whom I can see in this on this planet. In this way, when he is not drawn by these senses, yadahi nendriya artheshu, he will not have any keenness for any action. Karmasu na anusajjate. As the Smriti text, they say, whatever action a man does, all that is the effect of desire itself. In Smriti 2.4. And how does the desire come? Again in Manusmriti 2.3 it says, verily the desire has come from the thought, which is the Sankalpa as its source. And in Mahabharata again 177.25 it is said, O desire, I know your source. You surely spring from that thought, that is Sankalp. I shall not think of you, so you will not arise in me. So apart from these two, that senses and Kama, sadhak has one more quality. Is what Lakshana he has? Dridhanishchayaha sarvas sankalpas sannyasi. He has that Dridhanishchay, renunciation of sankalp. So if this sankalpa is fueled and directed outwardly, what happens? The desire is now properly fueled from inside and directed outside. So this Atma, which is pure inside, becomes a Jiva. But if the same sankalpa is directed inwards, you make up a point that I don't want thoughts of worldly nature, I want only thoughts of divine nature. So if this sankalpa is directed inwards, so this jiva becomes one with Paramatma. So Lord Krishna says, use this sankalpa to transform yourself. And don't think you have achieved something great by sending it to the outer message he gives over here. So if you are able to do this, then he talks, yes, you have progressed. Control of your senses, domination. These are the essential aspects which is talking about here. Now we'll move on. 3 Vishnu Sahasranama, verse 44, 413, Vyaptaha. Vaikuntha Purusha Pranaha Pranada Pranava Prutuhu Hiranyagarbha Shatrugno Vyapturvayuradhokshajaha. Vyaptaha, the pervader. The effects can never remain without cause. The cause is concurrent and inherent in its effects. Thus, the world that has risen from the infinite should be pervaded by the infinite. So he who thus pervades everything is none other Lord. So beautifully spoken about the presence of Lord Narayan everywhere. Coincidentally, just now what we discussed, same way, Antar Bahishcha Jagat Sarvam. Let's chant the Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Aha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivarana Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Aha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Our humble salutation. Lord Dhanvantari, to give us a healthy body and to be able to live service. Now let's do the Sakshi Bhava Sakshatkara Siddhi Yoga Dhyana with Sakshi Bhava meditation. Be comfortably seated. A few deep breaths. Deep. Now bring your attention on the mind and the thoughts going on in your mind. Pure to the you are different from the person whom you think you are. Observe the thought in the mind. Observe the body, the mind in the body. Without being judged. Allow the thought to pass by. So the thoughts gradually dwindling down, come to us. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Rave Namaha. Together we offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna. Seek His grace, mercy. Aham Karta Hari Om. you.